Hi, good day. Today I want to continue to examine the laws that are related to the Noahide people. And we will tackle today one of the central issues on which there is a disagreement among the rabbis who are dealing with the Noahide issue. And this is a question of Noahide observance and those commandments that are beyond the 7 commandments of the Noahide people. And those commandments beyond, it's a big question. There are 7 commandments, as we all know, described in the Gemara, that it bans idolatry, blasphemy, murder, and theft, and eating flesh cut from a living animal, and the duty to create a fair trial or courts. But what about the rest of the commandments? After all, almost all those 7 commandments are don't do commandments, except for one positive commandment about the courts. But also this, first of all, it's on the nation, not on the every person, and it's also a sense to judge violation of the 6 remaining commandments. So, and it's extraordinary that we accept people to do an obligation that they won't do, only negative things. Do not kill, do not steal, etc. But reasonable people also want to know what actions, what kind of active behavior will enrich the spiritual world, strengthen the connection with the Almighty, with God. In Judaism, for example, there are 613 commandments, of which 248 are positive commandments. Can a representative of other nations fulfill the commandments given to the Jewish people to get closer to the Almighty, to get closer to God, and to receive reward or something? First of all, to start answering this question, we'll begin with the Rambam from his commentary on the Mishnah of Trumot. Mishnah of Trumot, one of the most important parts of the oral Torah that we have. Truma is part of the harvest given to the priest Kohanim as a donation. There is a question about Truma contribution that the Gentile offers, the non-Jewish offers. What is its law? So the Mishnah says, Hagoy vehakuti, Trumatan Truma, uma'asotan ma'aser, ve'ekdeshan hekdesh. In English, the Truma brought by a non-Jewish is considered Truma, a donation. And also, what they dedicated to the temple is considered dedicated, hekdesh, something very holy. How to understand this fact? That a non-Jewish brings a Truma and it's considered a Truma? It's not included one of the 7 commandments of the Noahide. So what's happening here? So listen carefully what the Rambam in his commentary says. And he says like that, הנוכרים, אף על פי שאינם חייבים במצוות, אם עשו מהם שום דבר, יש להם קצת שכר, וזהו מן העיקר שלנו. וכיוון שהם משתתפים עמנו בשכר, מעשיהם במצוות קיימים, כאשר תראה והלכה כך. I will say it in English. Despite the fact that non-Jewish are not required to observe those commandments, if they follow something, they receive some rewards. And if they get reward for it, then their action is real. It means that there is validity to the act of the Gentile. Even though in the Mishnah Torah, the Rambam brings certain limitation, the main idea is clear. Now, I would like to study with you 2 statements from the laws of the king, okay, from the Rambam, which at first glance contradict each other. Okay, it's in chapter 10. First of all, we'll start with chapter 10, halacha 9. And it says like that, a non-Jew who studied the Torah deserved death. he can only deal with what is related to the 7 commandments. And the non-Jew who observed the Sabbath, even on a weekday, if he made it for himself like a Sabbath, deserved death. Especially if he made himself a feast, similar to feasts commanded by the Torah. The general rule is, do not let them invent laws for themselves and take additional commandments on their own, but let them either convert and take upon themselves all the commandments, or be satisfied with the laws and do not add to them or diminish them. And those who studied the Torah, observed the Shabbat, or established a new commandments, are subjected to punishment. This is a very categorical halacha. However, it is necessary to find out precisely what a non-Jew is forbidden to do. According to the Rambam that we just read now, there is an explicit prohibition to study Torah, except what refers to the 7 commandments, of course. And also, there is a ban to the observance of the Shabbat and holidays. And then he added, or sets a new commandments, he said. Here it means any religious commandments. And he also writes that if someone does so, he will get punished. And not only that, but he also said, and do not add them or diminish them. כללו של דבר, אין מניחין אותן לחדש דת ולעשות מצוות לעצמן מנהלתן. It is forbidden to add any commandments, not only the Shabbat, but all the other commandments. And now, according to the above, if he wants to donate, Truma, what we spoke before, or fulfill a commandment or honoring his parents, should we ban him too? But the Talmud in Kiddushin, in another place, the Talmud, in the story of a non-Jew, Dama Benetina, from Ashkelon, from the site after Ashkelon, his father's respect for the Jews. He taught us how we need to fulfillment of this commandment at his high level. How can this be understood that he did this mitzvah while the Rambam is saying you're not allowed to do anything? If Noahide cannot take any additional commandments, it turns out that if he wants to honor his parents or to give a donation like we saw before in the Mishnah, is it also prohibited? But it is known that many non-Jewish do right things, and what? We forbid them to do good? It's not reasonable. So let's see on what's happening here in the next halacha.